My name is Elias Twaire. Actually not the AG, Master Junius Kanjeke. I'm actually working for the Office of the Auditor General. He had other commitments, so he delegated this presentation to me. So I'll be looking at Afro-SAI experience and strategic outlook concerning SAI-PEC relationship and effectiveness in improving public finance management, accountability, and thereby service delivery. Let me start off saying the parliamentary scrutiny of public spending is a vital mechanism for holding governments and other providers of public services to account for the taxpayers' money they spend. And therefore, Parliament globally exercise oversight over national revenue and its expenditure. And the oversight role of Parliament extends to the scrutiny of financial, administrative, and management practices of public officers and other public institutions through Public Accounts Committee. And thank you. And PAC have traditionally occupied a high status over the committees of the legislature. And in many countries, it is the oldest parliamentary standing committee. In Namibia and in most African countries who are members of the Commonwealth have adopted the Westminster parliamentary system, where PAC are the primary mechanism of parliament, financial scrutiny, and oversight of the executive through examination of the Auditor General's report. The main purpose is for accountability arrangement to safeguard public money. Governments are accountable to the legislature for the way they spend the money they raise from taxpayers and elsewhere. The scrutiny of public expenditure ensures public funds were put to the use appropriated, expenditure comply with applicable law, consistent with government policies, and provide value for money by accomplishing established aims in an effective way. Now, for the SAI Namibia, we derive our oversight mandate from the Namibian Constitution, Article 127. And the powers of the Auditor General are embodied in the State Finance Act, Act 31 of 1991. And the powers of the Auditor General is to investigate, examine, and audit both the accounts and financial statements of ministries, offices, and agencies, as well as state-owned enterprises. And this power is derived from the Section 26 of the same Act. So therefore, the AG performs an oversight function on good governance, transparency, accountability, and efficient management of public resources which contribute to economic development and provide assurance to taxpayers as well as other sources of public finance that resources are being utilized effectively and efficiently. Therefore, regularity and performance auditing plays key role in achieving these objectives. The relationship between the SAI and PEC, the public finance accountability under the Westminster system is a triangular arrangement involving the executive arm of government, Parliament, and the Supreme Audit Institution, or the Office of the Auditor General. And these relationships create a need for accountability by the executive to account to people who provide the resources to them in order to provide public goods and services. Thus, this concept of accountability is, however, those entrusted with powers to govern are held responsible for their actions. Now, the coordination and cooperation with the PAC, the existence of PAC is there to serve the parliaments, and for it to fulfill the duty, it is supposed to have a good cooperation and coordination with the other oversight bodies in pursuit of transparency and accountability. And PAC around the world, especially those which adopted the Westminster system of parliament, have exhibited or shown reasonable cooperation and coordination with the Office of the Auditor General, or the SAIS, in terms of ex post function of reviewing the work done by the SAI. So PAC and the SAI have established what we call a symbolic relationship of managing tasks of scrutiny, and it is working very well, meaning that things are being done on a consultative basis. So the effectiveness of the relationship can be measured in terms of outcomes in the extent to which parliamentary audit and scrutiny makes a difference. Yeah. And then when it comes to investigative wing, similarly, PAC do not have a direct cooperation and coordination with investigative wings. These institutions are independent entities, such as the police and the anti-corruption, with specific mandates. Their functions are of investigative issues of criminal nature, which is really out of the purview of the PAC. But if the PAC through their reviews uncover matters that warrant the intervention of the investigative wing, it is at liberty to coordinate and cooperate with them in the pursuit of justice on behalf of the citizen. Generally, in Namibia, in terms of Namibia's perspective, it does not exist, but it is not barred or prohibited by any law. It would be a good practice if it is encouraged or promoted, keeping in mind that they are separate jurisdiction and mandates. After all, it will be in the name of good corporate governance and providing reasonable assurance to society. So therefore, coordination and cooperation and collaboration between the oversight institutions should be seriously be encouraged if Africa is to harness its resources for the betterment of its citizens and to subsequently nab the rampant corruption that is eating away the scarce resources around Africa. And now I want to focus my presentation on the Afro-SAI experience concerning the SAI-PAC relationship in the Namibian context. So at the regional level, the Afro-SAI have conducted a survey, and the survey result showed that most, if not all, SAI had no formalized and documented procedure in dealing with Public Accounts Committee. Therefore, there was a need to develop and train and roll out a SAI-PAC communication toolkit. So the training was conducted, champions were trained, and the toolkits was rolled out to staff and PAC members. So Namibia in particular benefited from the regional training, because at the end, we had our own customized SAI-PAC toolkits that was developed. And the goal and objectives of this particular toolkits, the goal is to increase the impact of the function of the SAI, and the objective was to provide Public Accounts Committee with adequate support necessary to improve its effectiveness and efficiency in fulfilling its mandate, and also to communicate and facilitate the PAC improved understanding of the function of the SAI and its impact on society. So the purpose of the toolkit was to improve communication and relationship between the SAI and the PAC. Therefore, to document respond by SAI to the needs of the PIC, better reporting practices and audit reports, and positive impact on accountability process. Why focus on communication is that we share the same objective with PIC, in the sense that we both try to enhance the accountability, transparency, and honest optimization of and utilization of public resources. Therefore, the SAI support the PIC in its processes. For example, when PIC is busy with planning a strategic level, the SAI office attend and provide expert strategic advice to the advice and audit relevant information that can help the PIC plan better. And during planning, when the PIC is busy prioritizing the audit reports, so we compile a list of critical reports, audit finding or section to consolidate audit report to help PIC prioritize better. And during planning also, when the PIC is busy setting work programs, we provide written expert commentary if necessary. And when PIC is busy with preliminary question, we draft, the office, the SAI, draft preliminary questions. During the process of information gathering, PIC is busy gathering information with regard to preliminary questions or with regard to briefing. So the office or the SAI gives a PIC a comprehensive briefing on audit outcomes. And when PIC is busy compiling background information, so the SAI advises PIC on minimum background information to be compiled. And then when PIC is busy with public hearing, the SAI attend these public hearings as expert witness. And during the reporting phase of the PIC, when PIC is busy developing the PIC resolution or report, so the SAI office, we review the PIC draft resolution and provide input and advice on how the PIC resolution should be structured. And when it comes to follow-ups, if PIC is doing follow-ups, review of the processes, so we evaluate government responses received and advise the PIC on its adequacy in addressing audit queries. And when PIC follow up on recommendations, so the SAI office assists PIC with developing a formal procedure for monitoring government actions on audit recommendation. And when PIC is busy with performance review of PIC performance against the set of goals and objectives, so the SAI encourages PIC to review its performance and recommendation and formal procedure measure framework. So basically, what were the achievements? The achievements are overwhelmingly positive on the toolkit and the rollout. So we have managed to improve the reports, and we have also provided draft questions to PIC. SAI Namibia participate in training PIC members. We also appointed a liaison officer that is constantly dealing with the PIC, and this liaison officer also attend PIC meetings, all PIC meetings, as an expert observer. And also, SAI public relation officer is part of the PIC activities. So in conclusion, the people were trained on a highly professional way. The work of the champions was appreciated by everyone. They contribute to the great extent on the success of the program. There was a high level of motivation at individual levels. So, I thank you.
Lesotho. I am Kaya. That's my surname. I am Kaya. Now, my first question would be, to whom does the Namibian Auditor General report? That is to say, does that institution report to the executive or to the minister or to parliament? To who do they report? We found that very important. Now, I heard something like that PAC does not have direct contact with other institutions. I wonder if I heard that one well. It will be cleared. It will be explained. Now, there is again the question of compilation of important auditors' report by the PAC. Well, with us in Lesotho, we take everything that the Auditor General has pointed as some misdeeds on the part of government. Everything, we take everything. Now, I also heard that it's like PAC draft questions or vice versa, questions are being drafted to PAC. It's like when PAC in Namibia goes to investigate, they have questions that have been drafted, prior organized questions and all that. I want to know if I heard quite well. But immediately, I will have to show that for us in Lesotho, we meet as PAC, we never draft any questions. Nobody drafts questions for us because we know that as we probe the government officials, a lot of things come from there. Now, with us again as PAC, we investigate even the Office of the Auditor General. We investigate even the Office of the Auditor General, or even the other institutions, which are institutions that would be a helping hand to the PAC, the Directorate for Anti-Corruption. We investigate those as well. The Office of the Ombudsman comes to us to report. In fact, everyone for us comes to report. But then those were the questions that I posed, the reporting, compilation of questions for PAC. Does that happen?
Question. Let me start off with the first one in terms of where does the Auditor General report to? In our case, the Auditor General report to Parliament. So all the Auditor General reports goes to Parliament, and then they get referred to the PAC for further scrutiny. But first they go to Parliament and then to PAC. In terms of the other oversight bodies, like the ACCA and the police, what I actually meant here was that the PAC is at liberty if they have any investigation and they feel that they have to involve these bodies. They are not prohibited by law to seek their services. So they can make use of those institutions. And then in terms of the questions, whether we draft questions for the PAC, no, we don't. The SAI don't draft questions. We assist in drafting questions. We assist in prioritizing reports in terms of which one is a priority to look at using our expert opinion. Like, for example, what would you do if you have a disclaimer of opinion type of report? If you have an adverse audit report, do you want to call in a hearing, or do you want to write to the institution and seek further clarity? So we just give advice or and assist in drafting questions. Yeah, I think I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Any follow-up questions? I see Botswana is trying to ask. Just a follow-up on the first question. Who appoints the Auditor General in Namibia? And when your report is ready, who do you hand it over to? Only Parliament, or you hand it to the executive also at the same time? Yes, Botswana, I've seen you want to ask. Go ahead.
The Parliament recommends the appointment of the Auditor General. And the appointment is done then by the President.
Yeah, recommend.
That is how it works. So Parliament recommends,
Then the President.
and then President appoints.
I'm Katoma from Namibia, and I would like to know the level of the implementation of the toolkit. The toolkit was made for all the AfroSci members, or it was just made for one? If it was now done for all members, what is the level of the implementation of this toolkit to some other countries?
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable, for the question. In terms of, I cannot speak for the other sides, but in terms of Namibia, as I said, we have customized the toolkit to fit our situation in the office. So we have things like a liaison officer. We assist PAC in all its processes. These are all the advocates from the toolkit. During planning, what should we do? During information gathering, what is the assistance or communication from our office? During public hearing, what should we assist PAC with? So, and we are implementing this to the fullest.